Alright, it's Friday around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, this week I wanted to pick kind of a shoegazy. It's kind of shoegazy song. It's kind of an 80s inspired song, like that 80s type of new wave type of thing, maybe. I think that's how I initially wrote this song. There's not a real reason why I picked this song this week. I just like the melody a lot. I love this melody. It's been stuck in my head from time to time. So I felt like something was compelling me to share this song. It's called American Refugee, and it's from the album American Refugee. It's a pretty simple song, but it took me a little longer this morning to try to compose it. I went through my process usually. I picked up my guitar maybe half an hour ago, and eventually I put the capo on 2, I put it in drop D. If my guitar is tuned correctly, then you can match it up to that. So it's drop D and the capo's on the 2nd fret. I had the melody already recorded, but it was one of those recordings I made years ago. That's just me mumbling stuff. Like that's why it makes me feel like the 80s new wave type of melody. But I hear it more as today in this type of arrangement. I hear it more like a shoegazy type of song with very, very heavy, loud guitar fuzz, distortion, and I don't know, I guess it just progressed to that way. It's not that old of a song. Maybe this is from, I don't know, I could look up the year, but maybe 10 years ago or so. I don't remember exactly when I wrote this. I have the audio file, so I could see exactly the day or night when I came up with this. When I make this, after I play this song and I show you how I came up with everything, I'm going to post it to my Substack with the original recordings because they're kind of funny to listen to. I think one time I woke up in the middle of the night and I went to the bathroom. I think my throat was all messed up. So I was trying to mumble the melody out with some words that I had in my head. And eventually it just became about, I don't know, there's a political nature to this song. How I have another song called A Man with No Country. Because sometimes, I don't know, no matter where you live, you kind of just lose your faith in the political process, or you lose your faith in just humanity in general. When all the bad shit goes down, sometimes that's in your head and you just feel like escaping to some other dimension or whatever. That's kind of like the metaphysical political nature of this song. If you want to say it's like a metaphysical Tom Petty type of song. It's nothing to do with Tom Petty's style of music, but maybe some of his messages kind of echo in my lyrics a little bit. But yeah, it's weird. Like, I live as a complete introverted hermit for the last like 5 years, so maybe it's to do with that as well, how I've decided to live my life. So like since 2020, this is how I kind of lived, especially since 2021. And it's probably to do with that in terms of the lyrics and messaging, where you just go through different parts of your life where you feel different identities clashing within yourself. And yeah, the reason I wanted to share this song is just I think it's one of my best verse melodies. It's got a riff in this as the chorus riff. I came up with this more than 10 years ago, but it was one of those old audio files that I never did anything with. I just pictured the band on stage playing this, and it would just go. You can just go crazy, crazy guitars on that. And yeah, you could just build from that and just have a crazy. That's the chorus riff, and it's just got a cool classical type of nature, like so I really like the music of this song. Whatever the messaging is when I wrote this, like I don't dislike the lyrics, but I don't really know exactly how to explain the lyrics to someone besides what I've already tried to do in this video so far. But the music is solid. I really like the way the verse transitions to the chorus, and I like the simplicity of it, but it's also just really catchy, man. It's got a shoegaze quality because I hear it really fuzzy guitar, and maybe when I first wrote this, it was more 80s style with maybe synthesizers in my head. And maybe you could put an element of that in there as well, like some kind of 80s new wave type of atmosphere. I don't know. But the point of this video and this series, The Anatomy of a Song, is just to show you the inspiration behind every one of my songs and a very brief and simple arrangement with just my acoustic guitar. If I was going to play this song at an open mic night, I would probably use something similar to this. So that's basically why I picked this song and why I like it so much. I don't know yet where my inspirations really came from. Maybe as I play this song, I'll think of other songs that kind of led the way to me writing this song. I'm not really sure yet where this song really birthed in my musical consciousness. But yeah, I'll just get right down to playing it. Now. It's in drop D, like I said, capo on the 2nd fret, and it's pretty basic, the weird chords that I come up with. So the verse chords, I like to hammer it on too. As I was learning this arrangement today, I was kind of hammering stuff. That's a very, very simple verse. And I'll just get right to singing the verses like that. There's 3 verses. The structure of this song kind of goes verse, verse. There's a little bit of a bridge before the chorus, or a pre-chorus, whatever you want to call it. And then the chorus, and then another verse, and then it would just go back to an outro to end the song. Pretty much exactly the same as the chorus. You can just get faster and faster with that. I just picture people like in one of those punk rock like mosh pits and just playing that song loud and just end the song with crazy high energy. If I can primal scream, I would probably do something like that at that point. I always picture in my head how I would perform these songs live. I would just scream at the top of my lungs. So I'll play the verse now, at the best I can do. Been so long since I last crossed the street, run its course, safer hordes, left those thoughts to ruptured ecstasy, shallow hearts, cowards pulse. When it takes the dirt spreads evenly, paranoia, unresolved. Look like that could kill so honestly, until I know in control. I'm still unsure about that last chord. It's kind of a weird chord. Maybe I could figure out if it works, or if something else works better. I think it's one of those two options. Been so long since I last crossed these streets, run its course, safer hordes. Maybe that's actually better. Been so long since I last crossed these streets, run its course, safer hordes. I don't know, either one could work. Safer hordes, safer hordes. I don't really know yet. They're both similar. Safer hordes, safer hordes. Something like that. I usually come up with something as I'm doing this, something sparks in my brain. So it's a pretty easy verse to get through. I'm not really singing it with a lot of force. It's kind of laid back and mellow. That's why I think it's a shoegaze song. It's kind of interesting. When I write these lyrics the first time, I hear them in my head as the vocal melody, but I'm always cutting words out to make it easier to phrase the lyrics, so it's not so wordy. I've learned that maybe by doing this series and by doing my musical DNA series, I learned to cut out words to make it easier to get through the phrasing. So I think the verse is very catchy. Then the chorus gets a little bit more complicated. And before the chorus, there's actually a bridge that I added this morning. So. It's very simple. I guess I would play the verse like that. two, three. With different guitar layers, you could add different things. I can't even play it that high on this. But yeah, you could add different parts. That's actually kind of weird. Yeah, I can't go that high. It's because I have the capo on, I think. But yeah, you could play that. I love the chorus riff. Like, you could play that dueling guitars or different contrasting riffs to make it more interesting. It's really interesting to me. I like the blending of these two tracks because this chorus riff came from a much different song from maybe 5 years prior to the verse I came up with. And I just thought it blended together well. That was my process in the winter of 2022 when I was spending every night putting songs together with my audio files. I would find something like that. And I'd be like, that fits kind of cool with that American Refugee song. And then I would put songs together like that. Like, I did that a lot because a lot of times I don't sit down and write a song and like, all right, this is the verse, this is the chorus. I'm just jamming for an hour or 2 hours. Almost 90% of my songs are like that. The other 10%, I will sit down and I have a melody in my head and I'm like, all right, I have the verse, chorus, and it all comes out really quickly like that. During that chorus riff, there are lyrics. It's hard for me to sing and play that riff together. I was trying to do it a little bit when I was practicing before this. It's almost a spoken word. Life revealed for the first time. Refugee in the details. Blood at ease for the mauling. The fight deceived in a moment. It would be something like that. The chorus, the vocal chorus melody, it can kind of be improvised as it goes. Because I picture it like almost like a Jim Morrison type of feel. Maybe there's a Jim Morrison influence over this song in general. If Jim Morrison ever made a shoegaze song. So I'm not really sure how the chorus vocals go yet. It would just be kind of an improvised spoken word type of thing. Life revealed for the first time. Refugee in the details. Blood at ease for the mauling. The fight deceived in a moment. There's a lot of possibilities in this song. I think that's the cool part of Drop D, that you can just come up with stuff on the fly. Like, you can get weird with this song because it's a basic 3-4 minute song. So maybe at the end you could get crazy with more technical jam, more technical heavy guitar jam at the end. While like it just gets more aggressive and aggressive as the one person is playing that riff. Somebody could just be going nuts playing a solo. Yeah, something, I'm not sure yet. I say this almost every video that I make. I don't know how to make bass lines. I don't know how to create guitar solos. I'm just kind of hearing on the fly what I hear in my head the best that I can with just an acoustic guitar. But yeah, there could be all kinds of different atmospheres and layering. I don't fully understand how to make shoegaze, all that crazy fuzz on top of fuzz, the My Bloody Valentine type of strategy where you just knock people on their asses with layer after layer after layer after layer after. It's hard for me to. I appreciate that very much. I love shoegaze music, but it's hard for me to understand it from a technical, scientific point of view. I don't know. I don't know how you create all those levels of different shoegaze walls of sound. I don't know how to produce stuff like that. You just use different pedals and different effects, I guess. But yeah, this song, even if I can't produce that with the materials and the instruments I have today, the melody holds true in my opinion. I picked this song because the melody is just very strong, and I'll have this in my head randomly. It just comes in my head, and it's very enjoyable. Like I always kind of hum this song to myself. And all right, I'm going a little bit off topic, but that's how these videos go. So after the chorus, there is a transition, which is that same chord I was just playing. Like it just sounds like it shouldn't be a chord, right? It's 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. It just has a weird, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's a real chord. Discordant, is that the word? I always think I'm using it correctly, but I'm using it incorrectly. Discordant. I think that comes from my love of Magma and bands like Swans even, and experimental avant-garde stuff. I forgot the guy's name. I found this guitarist this week. I forget his name, but I'll link it to my Substack video. Maybe chords like that grab my interest because I love Glenn Branca, and I mentioned him before. I found a new type of jazzy guitarist this week, and I'll link it. I forget his name. I don't want to forget. He's from maybe the East Coast, and maybe I could find it really quickly. Apologies. All right, Eugene Chadbourne. And the album I found was I Talk to Death in Stereo. Eugene Chadbourne. I never heard of the guy, but the album cover kind of piqued my interest, so I checked it out, and he's very avant-garde stuff. And yeah, I haven't listened to music lately. Anything new from 2025? I've listened to maybe like 4 or 5 albums from this year so far. Not because I'm lazy or anything. I just don't have the urge to listen to any new music right now. I make a list on my Spotify, like in my album of the year page, of albums I want to listen to, and eventually I get to it. But right now I don't feel like listening to anything. But this album grabbed my interest. It was the first album that really just took a complete control over my attention span. And yeah, I only listened to it once or twice, but it's really good. Eugene Chadbourne, I Talk to Death in Stereo. It's really out there, and that's probably why I come up with chords like that. If you listen to Glenn Branca, he'll play weird stuff like that you don't really, your ears aren't trained to incorporate with harmonious music, but it just works, man. Glenn Branca was like definitely one of the best in my opinion at making chords just stand out. Like, what the hell is he doing? And I love that stuff. Like, I could zone out to that, and it's just so much to take control of your senses, because it's so unusual and stuff you don't hear on the radio and stuff. All right, this video is kind of more of a ramble than I was hoping, but sometimes it just goes in this direction. So that is the transition chord, what I was trying to explain before I went off on this tangent. After you play the chorus, go back to the final verse. It's the dark and light. It's the transition from this weird evil sounding chord, and then you break the tension, and it transitions really well. It's so long, been so long since I really wanna see, seldom caught in the wild. Look like that could bend me out of reach when it's time, free to run. I think I like that better, actually. I'll play it slower. Been so long since I rewound the scene, seldom caught in the wild. Look like that could bend me out of reach when it's time, free to run. That's the end of the song. After that third verse, you go back to the chorus, and that's when you can add some funky jam session stuff. And at that point, it's just the music takes over. There'll probably be no lyrics during that outro section. So it's a fairly simple song, man. I like the melodies more than anything else. That's why I picked this song. There's a cool sense of tension, and then the release of all that tension. Like, because you can only think of these political concepts for so long before you just say, fuck it, I don't want to think about politics or religion anymore. All these existential topics, all these complicated topics that they seep into your daily thoughts sometimes because you can't escape it. It's in the news. If you watch the news, or if you go online, it's going to sneak up on you on your news feeds and your social media pages. I'm actively, for the last 3-4 years, not watching the news at all. I didn't follow any election news, any politics. I try to stay away from any news because I don't like going down any rabbit holes, and I had a problem with that in the past of just being too, not even immersed. I become like obsessed with all these political conspiracy theories and shit, and it's something I don't want to experience again. Like, I could watch the news and not go down. I'm not going down these weird things every time, but sometimes it just seems to happen where I get lost in the haze of information. There's just too much information to disseminate and to try to compartmentalize within your brain. There's just too many voices coming at you through advertising and news reports and all this shit. And yeah, maybe the song's kind of about that too. I'm kind of reminded of a Husker Du song. I think there's a Husker Du song about watching the news or something. So that's basically the song. When I make my Substack page for this, I'm going to add that maybe a Glenn Branca song, a Eugene Chadbourne song that kind of got me back into listening to music again this week. And I'll add the Husker Du song that I can't think of right now. But yeah, that's basically everything I wanted to discuss about this specific song. It's called American Refugee. And basically everything I showed, I came up with this afternoon. I'm still rusty with this. It's a cool transition though. I think more than anything with this song, I really like how it transitions from the verse to the chorus. Like, I wrote in my book a couple times, it seems like these two melodies were meant to go together, even though I wrote this chorus probably 15 years ago. Probably wrote that 15 to 20 years ago. And the other part I wrote maybe 8 to 10 years ago. I could look it up. And it goes together like really, really well. Like they were meant to be united as one song. How, even if that sounds really cheesy, I think that's my songwriting process, because it was a positive and a negative. I was too afraid to share my songs with people. But because of that, I had all these songs saved on audio files, on my digital drives, and on my external hard drives. I would save everything, all the shitty songs that I wrote in high school and college. There's terrible, terrible fucking songs. But I save everything because something like this might spark one day. I don't know, it's a weird... I wrote about this in my book a lot, just the weird steps I took to get to this point of my life. It's been very strange, because most people in a band, or they want to pursue music, they'll write songs and make an album. They're not going to jam and jam and jam and then have thousands of audio files throughout 20 years of their life and then be like, all right, I'm in my 40s now. I'm going to take the time to actually put these audio files and craft them into real songs. I don't know if anyone works like that, but because of my sheepishness, and I never thought I would have a career in music. I still don't know what my future holds for me. But because I did it this way, it's an unusual process, man. Like, I can't tell other people to do what I did. Be like, all right, kids, what you're going to do is you're going to write music for 20 years. And then when you get into your 40s, you're going to go back and go through all those recordings from 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And then you're going to form songs from all that shit. And then, I don't know if anyone's ever done that. I know people work like that. Like, to write a song, it's not just like people are sitting down. There are people that work in similar fashions, because it's easier today. You could just, any melody that pops in your head that you like, you just sing it into your phone, and who knows where it will take you in the future. Like, the modern convenience is pretty amazing. But yeah, I'm over 30 minutes, so I think I'm going to kind of stop it here. Hopefully you sense the feel, the shoegaziness of this song, in addition to all the other influences that I mentioned. Glenn Branca, Husker Du, Eugene Chadbourne. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Eugene Chadbourne. I'll try to find one or two shoegaze songs, or probably My Bloody Valentine, because I hear that type of... They kind of remind me of new wave too. Slow Dive, My Bloody Valentine. So I'll add one or two shoegaze songs when I write my Substack post to kind of give you the flavor of what I'm hearing in my head. Because it's a pretty lazy, mellow song, but the chorus could be pretty angsty and punk rock. Like, there is a... Like, you could like get pretty crazy with that, with the riff, which I like. I like bipolar songs like this, and I think this song accomplishes that pretty well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I could keep mumbling. For some reason today, I just went on a long ramble. I usually don't do this with these videos, but I don't know if it's good. I'm becoming more comfortable just speaking off the top of my head, or I just sound like a scramble-brained in this video. But either way, I hope you enjoyed some part of this.